Okay. How do we feel? Hey. Hello, Colombo. How do we feel? We are wonderful, but some people are not wonderful because they're still outside. Yeah? That mushroom and leek thing is the problem, I guess. I was also liking it so much, I wanted to take some home, but I realized other people had already taken a lot more home because there was less for the others. Yeah? All right. So now, most of us are back inside, and you've had a chance to walk around with our partner stalls there. So it's a good thing that you also engaged. There are games happening there, and I'd like you to keep in mind during lunch, during the day, when you get an opportunity, please engage with the stalls. Get your stars, right? I'm hoping anybody has stars on their wristlet. Raise your hands if you got some stars. Yes? Not enough, remember. Right? We are looking for the most number of stars that are going to be collected. So at the end of the day, there'll be some wonderful prizes today. Yes? Okay. So did you learn something in the morning session? Yes? Was it good? Yes. I can't hear you. Yes. Come on, you have a belly full of food now. There should be some more energy. So can I have an A from everybody? A. Oh, come on, that doesn't sound like that's not gonna stop the Terminator. Okay? So remember, how you say this can be the future of human beings depending on it, okay? So if you see AI going out of line, what is it we say? No, that's better. Yeah, that's like somebody's jumping over the fence and trying to steal your mangoes. That's good, that's good. All right, so now we're getting into the next section, and this is an important session as well. And I'd like to introduce you to our wonderful speaker. His topic is going to be on agility enabled by AI. And we have with us Mr. Samisa Abeysinghe. He's a board director of ICTA, volunteer advisor to the Ministry of Digital Economy. Right? Samisa is a highly experienced technology leader with a strong track record in driving digital transformative initiatives, particularly through expertise in middleware and enterprise architecture, alongside his deep knowledge of AI and Gen AI. He combines his technical prowess with a passion for people development and career counseling, actively mentoring and guiding individuals in the tech industry. Additionally, he is recognized as an author, reader, and prompt engineering specialist, demonstrating a broad range of skills and has a strong background in software engineering and has also had a strong involvement with the ICTA in Sri Lanka. This is definitely going to be interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Samisa Abeysinghe. All the best.
Happy to be here. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the age of AI and how I see Agile and especially Agile teams and Agile frameworks, practices are going to shape in this age of generative AI. So according to GitHub CEO, 80% of the code is going to be written by copilots. So what does that mean? Every 100 lines of code, only 20 lines of code will be written by engineers. Does that mean that we can do 5 times the work using one engineer? Can we replace 5 people with 1 person in the Agile team? Right? Or would that mean that people will have to spend more time reviewing AI-generated code rather than focusing on writing code? Interesting questions, right? I would like to inspire on those questions, but rather not answer, because the answers could be creative, generative, and I'm pretty sure even Gen AI can help in turn to help solve those problems. That's the irony of generative AI. So, for me, what that statement means is that we still need the same team, more or less. We still need the same engineers, more or less. But what used to be an engineer who wrote code now needs to lift himself or herself up and become a tech lead. So all the engineers are now more or less tech leads, which basically means you are mentoring, you are leading, you are designing, you are guiding. Who are you leading, mentoring, guiding, and designing? With co-pilots, right? In other words, when we are interviewing software engineers in the future, we will not be very keen to see whether they know Java, Python, C, C++ anymore. Rather, we'll be much more interested in learning whether they can talk, whether they can think, whether they can speak, and more importantly, whether they can write, and write clearly. Right? Not code, but rather language. So that also means that the Agile team's role is changing. As AI is going to get more work done, what that really means is that the role of the team shifts. Now, what we are doing is really orchestrating what the AI can do. So it could be faster, more productive, less error-prone, etc., etc. But we are dealing with an entity that we don't have control with. At least in the past, when the engineer wrote the code, we could ask, what did you write? Why did you write it such a way? And what was the rationale kind of scenario? Now, the moment the problem is given, the code is going to appear. Now, more time will be required to understand, rationalize, and maybe keep asking the same questions from an automated bot. But rather, humans will have to do a better orchestration if we are to take control of the system and make sure that the project is visible, viable, within budget, with quality, and all that, the typical delivery targets and objectives in a project. So it's going to be about AI-enabled, AI-augmented collaboration. The truth is, or the reality is, that we are going to work side by side with AI. And all the roles and all the functions are going to get somehow or the other automated, right? There used to be an era, maybe 2-3 years ago, that you were using Copilot behind the scenes. Nobody knew that you were using that kind of scenario. Now, the primary use case is, first you deal with Copilot, then you discuss the fact that how you did and stuff like that. Basically, it's no more a secret. It's no more a hidden gem kind of scenario. It's the reality. It's out there. Everybody wants you to, or everybody wants the whole team for any function or any aspect of the team, AI to be used. However, now the role shifts. Expectation is very, very different from traditional role of the team, right? Just to simply say, the stand-up is different, the wrap-up is different, the retrospect is going to be very different. So everybody's role changes in accordance with that, not only the software engineer's job. So like I said, the software engineer now is the tech lead, and everybody is a tech lead. Also means that all other roles within the team also needs to uplift. And it is time to sit down and research what that new role is, what the new expectation is. Because if we are not figuring it out, we are going to lose track of what we are going to do in terms of how to deal with this era of AI, right? The expectation is very different, right? Which is a good thing. Because all this time we wanted the computer to do a better job, that we as humans can do a better job. Work-life balance have a new meaning now. I can add the whole code for the whole day within just a couple of hours and spend the whole rest of the day thinking, rationalizing, designing, redesigning that code, because it doesn't take that much of time to write the code. That's not the key objective anymore, right? Design is more critical. Understanding how to better align is critical, etc., etc. So what this also means is that generative AI has drastically changed and as well as solved a critical problem that we had in the whole history of computing. Basically, we had to learn programming languages, which is a high-level abstraction of a natural language. Now, natural language is a new programming language. Now the question is this: people know Java and technology and whatnot, but do we know how to speak? Do we know how to write? Do we know the language? How do we understand Leo Tolstoy now? Because ChatGPT or Copilot or whatever the GenAI agent that you are using is much more better concerned with the natural language. Now we got to go back to the school and learn the natural language again, to the extreme, right? It has never been that difficult to get the thing right now, because if you change a sentence, make a simple mistake, your chatbot will think that you mean that, but you didn't mean that. If there was a human in front, the human can read between lines. The bot cannot read between lines. That's very, very critical. So the question is, do we need to really worry about AI aptitude, or is the question about articulation? Do we need to get better at articulation, right? I believe it has to be articulation. And there are a lot of talk, a lot of research, a lot of in-depth knowledge in terms of articulation. But we have to go back to the principle. Read, write, listen, and ask genuine questions. If you don't know how to ask genuine questions from yourself, you don't know how to ask right questions from the bot. You don't know how to ask it proper from ChatGPT. So we used to say knowledge is power, right? Now is it? If you have any question, right, the Wikipedia is there in the chat prompt. It's just a matter of asking the question, right? So is knowledge power or something else is power? So all knowledge will be handled by AI, right? But we as humans will have the responsibility to get to the unknown, the emotional, and the intention. So after all, we have come 360 degrees, come to natural language, and we are now saying, we better be humans now. Computer has come close to becoming human. So what best thing that we can do in our teams, ourselves and our kids? Well, you've got to learn how to be creative. From one of the people who are considered one of the best creators in the world, Steve Jobs said, creativity is about connecting the dots. For me, it's not just about connecting the dots. To connect the dots, you've got to find the dots. The fact that you have collected dots gives you the opportunity to collect the dots and get creative. So it's time to think about getting creative, reading, writing, and articulation. So I would like to close this with this. If you go back to the code, if you look at that code, and if you wanted an abstract art, right, what would have you drawn? Versus this is what I got when I gave the prompt to ChatGPT this morning, asking, draw something, an abstract art, to describe Steve Jobs' concept of connecting the dots, right? So the creativity is actually amazing. My point is that we as humans will have to get over that. And for that, we'll have to go back to the libraries, start reading, start journaling, start writing those diaries at the end of the day, and get better at our language. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Samisa. Can we have a large round of applause for him? Finally, I have some validation for all of those literature books I read when I was a kid. Yeah? Because The fact is that we have to be better at language. Earlier, all we needed was coding, but now we need to write in plain language. And the better we prompt, the better the response. So there's a lot that he shared that we can take back. Don't you think so? Yes? Yeah? So connect the dots. Connect the dots to create that wonderful picture from your knowledge and from your experience. The code that you bring to life needs to really serve a higher purpose. So Samisa, can I have you back on stage, please? And I'd like to invite, to give a token of appreciation, Rumesh Vijayatunga, the Director of Business Agility Tune-Up, to join me. Thank you very much, Samisa. Give a round of applause there.